One Republican candidate in the 2008 race for the presidential nomination has inspired a unique and eclectic segment of the electorate to mobilize and work for a radical change in American politics. Ron Paul, whose $6 million fundraising day on December 16th broke the record for the biggest of any presidential campaign, boasts some of the most avid supporters of a hotly contested presidential race.
In the state of Maryland,
Steve Krukar, a volunteer with the campaign, spoke with us after riding in a 200-foot blimp that is spreading Paul's name along the East Coast.
In fact, what's really special about the Ron Paul campaign is so many of these different initiatives, whether you're talking about the Ron Paul blimp, you're talking about, for example, the Tea Party that just occurred, the money bomb, all of that is not affiliated with the campaign, but the campaign is made up of many, many different organizations, many different people from all walks of life coming together to support Ron Paul.
At the blimp landing site at the Harford County, Maryland airport, Paul supporters gathered early in the morning to see the aircraft. Several of them, including Shelley Roach and Dan Campbell, had donated money to Paul's campaign.
I have given money to the Tea Party just recently, but I'm definitely going to give money to the blimp as well. Haven't done so yet, but will.
Shelley?
Yep, I've donated twice.
Really? And so how did you find out about Ron Paul? When was the first time that you heard about him?
Well, it was, I don't know, several months ago on the internet. I can't even remember exactly. It was just a little bit here and there. I actually was libertarian, so that kind of, his leanings were more along my line, and he fit right in. I think I caught him on the debates too, which was huge, and then I did most research on the internet.
Gotcha. And Shelley, what about you?
I saw the YouTube Ron Paul Hope for America video that a lot of people have seen, and it was amazing.
And have you been involved in politics or interested in politics before you heard about Ron Paul?
No, I actually hate politics.
Really?
And most politicians. But what I like about Ron Paul is that he's not really a politician. He's just a man that's trying to get his message across.
Paul Amlong voted for President Bush twice before his concern about the war in Iraq led him to support Ron Paul. Echoing a common distrust for the mainstream media found among Paul supporters, Amlong advised us not to use the words dark horse or quixotic when describing Paul in our coverage.
For certainly, everyone in this country is starved for an honest man. God, we are so starved to vote for an honest man, someone who won't lie to us. And that's what we're all finding here. And I guess if I wanted to say something, if I feel passionate about something, is that the powers that be need to know that what's happening here is going to continue, and that the curtains have been pulled back, and these people are not going to go back to sleep. Not whether Ron Paul meets with the success we all hope for, we're not going to be able to close the curtains and forget what we've learned.
We also spoke with Mel Davis, who drove more than 90 miles to see the blimp and meet with fellow supporters. What brought you to the Ron Paul? What made you a Ron Paul fan?
Well, I heard him being talked about months ago, and when I found out that he had formed an exploratory committee, I knew that he was the one that I had to get behind. I knew what his platform was, and there was just no doubt as to who I would be supporting and that he would have my loyal support. And to clarify that, it's not him that has my loyal support, it is his message that has it. Nobody running has the background or the track record that he has, and for that matter, as far as I'm concerned, nobody has the credibility that he has.
Well, Mel, thanks a lot for your time.
Okay, thank you. Toodaloo.
Charles Froman, a freelance Capitol Hill lobbyist who supports libertarian causes, represented RonPaulRadio.com, a grassroots volunteer media group that hosts internet radio programming in support of Paul's candidacy.
Radio.com. And so it's 24/7, and it's mostly live. There's a few rebroadcasts, and it's just a bunch of guys, volunteers, very little money, just interviewing people, driving the meetup groups to come show up at events, get the signs made, and show up at debates. It is really amazing. I think everyone can agree on that. This is a grassroots campaign based on the internet, and Ron Paul's campaign has very little to do with it except for the policies. And it's just people through the surfing on the web they're learning that, hey, we need to really learn a little bit more about all these issues. This war business is a bit kind of crazy, this police state, the imminent recession, we're going to lose our jobs, the dollar collapse. We've got to do our own surfing on the web and find out what's going on. And then they find out that, lo and behold, at ronpaul2008.com, he sort of has this package deal. Entrepreneurs repackage things. So the Ron Paul campaign has repackaged all these solutions that would sort of be a catch-all for all these problems that bring people from disparate areas together. So you have progressives, you have libertarians, you have old-line conservatives, and it's a beautiful thing.
Since we met the Paul supporters, their candidate's best showing was 4th place in the Michigan primary. With another fundraising blitz scheduled on Martin Luther King Day, Paul is poised to stay in the GOP race. For the Online NewsHour with Jim Lair, I'm Quinn Bowman.